Hi there, it's Tanya from Botanicamy. It's Thursday, it's 12, it's lunchtime. Hopefully you have a little bit of time off from work, so you have a couple of minutes to join in today. Today we're going to talk about occasional ear discomfort and then also resources available to you so that you can go and do some research on your own to try and understand what is available out there and how you are then able to support your body with essential oils for occasional discomforts that you may be experiencing. Okay, so welcome to today's live. Today's occasional ear discomfort topic actually came from one of the fans on my page. So it's a very good suggestion. Her name is Aisha Valley. So thank you so much for making the suggestion. Hoping you can tune in today. So we are going to talk about which essential oils are out there that can support your body. But more than that, obviously, we're going to go and look at a couple of different resources that I use on a daily basis to support or to tell me which oils I can use to support my own body. But then also, obviously, see what else is available out there so that I can assist those that come to me with their daily health needs or any ailments or health challenges, I should say, that they are struggling with. Okay, so welcome to today's live. Let's kick straight off and maybe talk about the resources first. So there's quite a couple that I actually use. I use books a lot because I'm still very much a paper-based person. I do have a couple of online tools as well. I do also use a couple of apps on my phone because, you can't carry 10 kg books around with you while you're traveling or on the road, that kind of thing on a daily basis. So for that matter, the phone apps that are out there are actually just absolutely fantastic. Okay. So today we are going to talk about a book that I use very regularly. It's called Advanced Oil Magic. I did import this from the UK, but I do believe that there is a shop that's going to be opening soon that will enable us to be able to purchase this in South Africa. All right. Which I'm really excited about because, guys, this is one of those magic books that just... Well, it's called Oil Magic, but it is a magic resource to have because it's got most of your daily challenges or health challenges that you're dealing with is in this book. And it very nicely describes to you which oils are best for what is recommended. And then also they recommend how to use these oils. And, the question on everyone's lips is usually, how difficult is it to understand what dilution rates you need to use, all those kind of things. And they explain that to you in that book as well. All right. Another resource that I go to very often is this big, thick guy over here. Complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy. This is something I found on Takealot. It is an exceptionally useful, I'm going to call this an encyclopedia. It's almost that thorough. But there's just so much good information in here. And it's quite important that you understand that there's a lot of information online as well. And it could be a little bit of an influx of information if you have no idea where to start. So what I'll teach you today is when you do have to go into Google and do a search, because remember, Dr. Google, you get some very serious stuff on there. Anyone can post anything on the internet, okay? Whether it's true or not, please remember that. So just always... cross-reference, go to as many resources as possible before you make a decision on how you're going to improve your daily wellness routine with certain things to assist your body or support your body. But do cross-reference and try and look at various resources before you make a decision, okay? So one of the very good apps I use on my phone is called Modern Essentials Plus. And maybe before I carry on, all these books that I'm displaying, the app that I'll be talking about today, none of them are brand specific. I do certainly not get endorsed by any of them. I make no monetary income from announcing their names on this live today. These are literally resources that I find very useful and that I use on a daily basis, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. I can see there's more people joining in. For some reason, I can't see today who it is that's joining in. No idea what's happening to the live. But basically, if you've just joined in, welcome. It's Tanya, Botanicamy. We're talking resources and occasional ear support today. Right, so the app I was talking about that I use very regularly on my phone is called Modern Essentials Plus. It is not a free app. But I've also come to realize that most of the free apps promise you the world, and don't give you a lot of information. And then there's quite a lot of in-app purchases, whereas this one doesn't. It costs around 59 to 60 Rand in the App Store, depending on whether you're using Google Play or the different app stores that you go into. And I also don't have a South African account, so I paid for mine in dollars. So I can't say exactly how much it's going to cost. It's around 60 Rand, but it is so worthwhile. I mean, if you think these books are a couple of $100, so when you're able to have something at your fingertips on your phone for 60 Rand, yes, it's a very, very useful resource to go to. All right, so those are the three things I generally go and reference when I'm trying to find some kind of natural solution to support my body when I'm dealing with a particular health challenge, or I'm trying to assist someone with their health challenge. But I do also go to Dr. Google, but I do very clearly specify in my search terms. So your essential oil brand that is your preference, just go and always type that name before whatever the health challenge is that you are trying to look up information for. All right. So always the name of the company first, and then occasional ear discomfort, because that's something that we are going to be talking about today. All right, and then you'll come up with some good information, because when it's associated with a specific brand name, then you're going to realize that the information that Dr. Google gives you is actually a lot more relevant and probably a lot more accurate. Okay. So let's go occasional ear discomfort, because that's one of the things that one of my fans or avid listeners, Aisha Valley, asked for. And specifically when you think of when you've got ear discomfort, it's usually... Hello, Renee. Now I can see names coming in. That's absolutely fantastic. Hello, Renee. Thank you for watching. When you are thinking ear discomfort, what that basically means is there's usually maybe some fluid buildup somewhere in that middle ear. There's quite a lot of pressure, a little bit of inflammation. That can cause quite a lot of discomfort, and we all know how sensitive our ears are. So even if there's only the slightest bit of discomfort, it's going to make you feel very sorry for yourself. So the thing is always to remember what could be causing it. And usually what the causes are is because there is fluid retention. And this can now be because of a couple of things. I don't know, maybe you went and did the Midmar Valley in a dam full of dirty water and it got into your ear and it got stuck. Okay, so now you've got fluid in there that is struggling to come out. Besides that, you're probably going to get some kind of environmental threat with that water into your ear, and that's coming to the next point. But it's not just water coming in from the outside. It could also be that your ear canal is shaped slightly different and it's very difficult for it to drain. Now, that's obviously something that you've inherited. It's a genetic thing. Your shape of all your ear canals is going to be predetermined in your chromosomes before your ears develop. So I do know that a lot of people struggle a little bit more with ear conditions than others. You do find, for instance, that there's people that go and try and do deep sea diving that really struggle. And it's simply because the shape of their ear and the ear canals are not conducive to letting air or pressure or fluid out as easily as it would for other people. And there's obviously quite a couple of physical techniques that you can do that you get trained with during diving to try and release the pressure. I'm just using that as an example, but because I have learned now that are issues with certain people's ear canals, okay? But when you think about why that pressure is there, why you feel the discomfort, it's usually because there's fluid retention, and it's usually because some kind of environmental threat has now caused some kind of situation in your ear, and it's either giving you an inflammatory response, that kind of scenario. So when you want to go and investigate what essential oils are going to be able to support you in something like that, you've got to think a little bit, what is the cause? So number one, there's fluid retention, and it might be that this fluid contains some kind of environmental threat, okay? And therefore, you need to go and find essential oils that are suitable to either ward off seasonal threats or that have antibacterial or antiviral activity. All right, so that's your starting point. Besides the fact that you can physically go into the Modern Essentials app and just type in ear, and it's going to come out with quite a couple of suggestions, or when you go to your magic oil book or the encyclopedia one that I call, when you go in there and you go and search for ear, it's also very noticeable that the essential oils that they recommend are all either antiviral or antibacterial or have some kind of analgesic effect, because that means, if you don't, the analgesic word basically means it decreases the discomfort quite a lot. Okay. Hello, Nazli. Thank you for joining in. We're doing occasional ear discomfort today. I've talked a little bit about the resources that I go to go and find which essential oils can support my body naturally. And then, so basically, when we go to these resources and you type in ear, you're going to get quite a couple of essential oils. And perhaps I can start going through the lists, and then you'll see between all my different resources, they are actually suggesting or recommending very similar oils. And the reason for that is there's quite a lot of research showing which ones do have antiseptic activity, antibacterial, antiviral activity. Okay. All the hearts coming up. Oh, I love it. I can just see them all going over my screen. Show me some love. I really, really enjoy doing these kind of things and teaching people about how to assist their bodies naturally. All right, so let's go to the Oil Magic book. All right, and what they do suggest for any ear discomfort are oils like melaleuca or tea tree. And as you know, that's one of my favorites because it's anti-everything. It's antibacterial, antiseptic, antiviral. So basically, because melaleuca or tea tree is there for that reason, that is going to be a very beneficial oil when you are dealing with ear discomfort. Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit now about how you can use them, but that's one of the first oil that's sort of cross-referencing between all my references. That's one of the ones that all of them mention, okay? Right through the app to the Oil Magic book, to Valerie Ann Wormwood's complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy. All right, the next one that comes up is lavender, and the reason lavender works so well is it's antibacterial, surprise, surprise, and it also has anti-inflammatory effects. So that's the reason why a lot of aromatherapists, when you go for that soothing massage, that is why they use lavender. Yes, it's calming to the mind and the emotions, and it supports your body that way, but it also has an anti-inflammatory reaction or attributes to it, which is obviously going to help quite a lot if you're dealing with pressure buildup and an inflammatory response inside your ear canals. Okay. The next one that quite a lot of them mention is basil. Again, basil is very antibacterial, so that's the reason why that one comes up all the time. Helichrysum. Now, I'm actually quite scared to mention this oil. It is an oil that I use very routinely in my skincare routine every day. It is called French Immortelle. It is called Immortelle for a very good reason. It's that cell regenerating and supporting to sort of assist healing. It's also antibacterial. Also anti-inflammatory. So there's just quite a lot of these properties in helichrysum that can do you really well. But please also note that this is a really, really, really pricey oil because they've got to harvest so much material to get a very small quantity of essential oil. Okay, so probably not one that you want to start off with when you're just dabbling with essential oils. Melaleuca or tea tree is generally one that most people have in their homes, and lavender as well. Those are the two oils that are very safe for use as well. Very few people have adverse reaction to those oils, so those are a good starting point. And then obviously one that comes up quite frequently is frankincense. And if you remember back to all my previous lives, oh, there comes the curtain. I have to keep the windows open, guys. Pretoria is really hot today. So frankincense is king of all oils because anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antiseptic. So again, you can try and see now why frankincense would be an oil that can definitely support your body, because what we're trying to do is we want to support the immune system so that it's able to fight the infection from the environmental threats in your ear canal. And we are trying to take away the discomfort that you feel from pressure due to the anti-inflammatory reaction of these oils, okay? So those are 4 oils that come up across the board. If we take a look at this very big book of mine, they mention Roman chamomile. There it is, lavender, tea tree and melaleuca, and geranium, all right? They also have a different blend where they add thyme. Please just realize that thyme is a hot oil, so we're going to need extra dilution, otherwise it's going to feel like chili peppers. There's also another reference that's talking about, and this another reference that I'm talking about is actually on the Modern Essentials Plus app. If you go and put in there antibacterial, you're going to find things like melaleuca and tea tree. Cinnamon, again, a hot oil, so just be careful about with those kind of oils in very sensitive areas. Peppermint, Litsea, pink pepper, lemon, myrtle, as well as lime. And if you go and type in antiviral, you will find helichrysum, melaleuca or tea tree, clove, another hot oil, so definitely a lot of dilution required there, as well as melissa. And then if you go into the app and you search ear, it's very specifically going to bring up again basil, melaleuca, helichrysum, as well as frankincense. Okay, so those are the oils that seem to be cross-referencing between all my references. So those are the good ones to reach for. You don't have to use all 4 oils. You can start with one. And I have found in my experience that tea tree or melaleuca tends to sort everything out before you need to start adding more oils. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about safety now and how you would use these essential oils, what dilution, that kind of thing, because that's really important. Sensitive areas on your body include in your mouth, in your nose. Don't stick essential oils up your nose ever. Not in your eyes ever. Your ears also very, very sensitive inside. So never put essential oils inside your ears. Okay, ever. Just never, ever. And never in your eye either. All right. So that's just the sensitive parts on your face. So what would you do then if you do have a lot of ear discomfort? How are you going to apply these essential oils? All right. So a good dilution rate for an adult is generally, I would say, 2 to 3 drops in a 5 milliliter carrier oil. And a good carrier oil to use in this instance, because you can warm it up nicely to try and ease the inflammatory response, the whole cold pack kind of thing, is heat 5 milliliters of olive oil, and then you add your essential oils to that. So you could add, if you've got frankincense and you've got basil and you've got tea tree, add a drop of each, or you could just do 1 or 2 drops of melaleuca or tea tree, and then you literally going to dab it around your ear. You see, I'm not pointing in my ear at all, nowhere inside my ear, okay? You're going to dab it around the ear. And because essential oils are so very effective at being able to go into your skin and go and do their work inside cells, it's really going to actually have quite a lot of relief really soon. And you can do that at least 3 to 4 times a day, because remember, the half-life of the essential oils are not very long, because your body is very able to metabolize these agents very quickly without having any side effects. So unless you're allergic, obviously, then you're going to have side effects. But basically, these essential oils placed around your ear is then going to go into that specific area that's localized where it needs the antibacterial, antiviral effect to try and relieve the pressure and perhaps bring the environmental threat load down quite a lot. Okay. Another way that people do apply the essential oils is you can take that same 5 milliliter of olive oil and heat it up, and then and put the essential oils in. Not very hot, guys, because please, we also don't want to burn the therapeutic quality away. But take a cotton ball and then soak it in that solution that you've just made, and then squeeze out as much of that oil as possible. And now remember, you're dealing with aromatic compounds, okay? If you remember what essential oils are. So simply holding the cotton wool over your ear canal. You're not putting it inside the ear. Do not stick the whole thing in your ear, because you might not get it out. But simply holding it over the ear canal, those aromatic molecules are going to start evaporating, and they're going to evaporate into your ear canal. Okay, so that's also a very good way to apply these essential oils. If we're looking at very young infants, I would be diluting quite a lot more, hey? Because for an infant between 0 and 6 months, essential oils are exceptionally strong for them. You're dealing with a very teeny, tiny body. And they probably only need about a quarter drop of essential oil in a 5 milliliter carrier oil. So you could probably make up a 10 milliliter solution, which then doubles it, which means 1 drop, no more than 1 drop, okay? If we're going to talk children between the ages of 1 year to 5 years, you can go maybe 1 drop in a 10 ml. 1 to 2 drops in a 10 ml. And the older you get, obviously, the stronger or the higher the concentration of the essential oils. Please also remember that not all essential oils are created equally. Some of them have got quite a lot of adulteration, which means there's lab chemicals in there, or fillers, or diluents, or carrier oils. So they might not be working as well as they should if they were 100% therapeutic grade and pure, all right? So you might need a little bit more of them, but then it is also very important to dilute with the carrier oil, because if you're not going to dilute, you are also going to expose the skin around you to the adulteration that is in that oil, and then it actually might cause you a lot more harm than good. All right. So yeah, thank you for joining my live today about occasional ear discomfort. If there's any additional suggestions for more sessions like these, please go ahead and make comments after the live posted today, so that I can have a look at them. I do have another suggestion from one of our My Botanic and Me page fans that I'll probably be addressing next week. So please go and put your comments in there. If they're in there, I will in turn get to them so that you too can try and learn where you are going to be able to find the resources to know which oils to use and also which oils you can use to support your body. All right, so just in summary, today we did a little bit of resources, which resources to use. So that's the Modern Essentials Plus app that I have on my phone and use it very regularly. I also have the complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy. I use Dr. Google. I just use the right search terms. I use the Oil Magic book, and between those 4 references, I then usually find a combination of oils that are cross-referencing to know how I'm going to be supporting my body. Right, and then the oils which I mentioned today, which are going to be very good for occasional ear discomfort, include a tea tree or melaleuca, lavender, basil, and helichrysum on the side, because it's the pricey one. If that's the way you're going to go, that oil is absolutely amazing. It's got a lot of other benefits as well, so it's definitely a good oil to have if you're able to get it. And then frankincense. So those 4, that's 5 oils, I can't count, but those 5 oils are absolutely amazing for this kind of support that is usually caused by a fluid buildup, inflammation, or environmental threats. All right. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys next week, Thursday. Cheerio.